So, my name is Andre. I'm an American stuck in Russia. I really want to go home. I want to get back to America, but I can't right now. So I'm in Moscow right now. This is the famous St. Basil's Cathedral. Actually, that's not its real name. Its real name is like the Protection of the Mother of God, but they nicknamed it St. Basil's. It's probably the most famous landmark in Russia. This is the Kremlin. Towards the evening. Oh, not really. Still got a couple hours before it gets dark. Anyway, so I didn't have any luck to get my American passport today. So I'm just wandering around Red Square, trying to cheer myself up. But I really want to get home. Yeah, it's beautiful here. Well, some areas. Some areas suck. But I just don't belong here, man. And I've been here way too long. And I just don't feel comfortable, man. This is not my homeland. This is not where I belong. So this is the Kremlin. This is Red Square. So, how did I wind up here? I met a girl here. We supposedly fell in love. Wound up getting married after 6 months. And had a child a year later. And then we got divorced. So I'm just living here to be a good father to my son. And to be part of his life and be as good of a father as I can to him. So, a little history of the Kremlin. So, like Moscow in general, only was mentioned like in the 1100s or so. That was just a little town. It was nothing special. There were a lot more places that were much more powerful and special than this little town. Well, basically, they became very, very powerful by sucking up to the Mongols at the time when, like, all of Russia were vassals to the Mongols. And so Moscow, the Principality of Moscow, would suck up to the Mongols and put down rebellions of their own Russians who were rebelling against Mongol rule, and the Mongols would send in soldiers from Moscow to put down the rebellion. And they were so good at beating their own patriotic freedom fighters that the Mongols gave them more and more power, and Moscow became the most powerful principality in Russia, and now the capital of the largest country in the world, all by sucking up to the country's enemies. How ironic. So this is the church of St. Basil, but really the Church of the Protection. So it was built by an order by Ivan the Terrible, and it was built to celebrate his victory over Kazan and the Mongols, or the Tartars, and the capture of the city Kazan. And you would think it's like really big and spacious inside, but it's actually a strange labyrinth of different little chapels dedicated to a saint for each day of the siege of Kazan. So yeah, it's very strange. It's like walking through a labyrinth, through like a 4-story labyrinth or something, even higher. So this is the statue of Minin and Pozharsky, who came from the city where I live, Nizhny Novgorod. And basically, the Poles captured Moscow and captured the Kremlin under the false Dmitry. And they ruled Russia for 2 years. But Prince Pozharsky and Kosmin Minina from Nizhny Novgorod set up a volunteer army, and they defeated the Poles and liberated Moscow and the Kremlin, which led to, in 1613, like a year later or the same year, for the election of Mikhail Romanov, the first Romanov Tsar. So yeah, that's Minina and Pozharsky. And so, under the order of Ivan the Terrible, this church was built. Legend says that he put the eyes out of the architects because he didn't want them to ever build anything as beautiful as this. He wanted this to be the most beautiful thing in the world. And so he poked out their eyes and blinded them. So that's the history of that. Going back to the Kremlin goes back a little older. Like in the 1100s, it was like just a wooden fortress. And then Dmitry Donskoy, who eventually managed to defeat the Mongols, and liberate all of Russia. He made it into, he used stone and made the walls into stone. And so it was from Dmitry Donskoy's time, which is mid 1300s, that the first stone structure came. But the actual architecture like we see now is from like the mid 1400s. And Vasily III actually hired Italian early Renaissance architects let me remember their name. Solari and Rufo, I think. And he hired them to design the Kremlin. So this was actually, what we see today was actually designed by Renaissance Italian artists in the mid 1400s, mid to late 1400s. So yeah, that's cool. There's even an inscription on one of the gates in Latin, like talking about the great work of this Italian architect or architects, like a homage to their great work. So yeah, a lot of crazy things have happened on this square, including Ivan the Great torturing so many people, like right here. He would like boil people alive and skin them alive, and he always liked to have an audience. He would force all the people like that live around here to come and watch, so they'll be scared never to supposedly be treasonous like he accused them of. But it used to be a place for like just those like outdoor market where they sold everything from food to like clothes and I think even horses, or they sold horses down on the river, well, when the river was frozen. But yeah, livestock, everything they sold here. So it was a very lively place. It was always like the center of Moscow. Of course, Moscow burnt down many times. The Mongols burnt it down several times, but they always rebuilt. And of course, famously, the Russians burnt down Moscow to save it from Napoleon, or so Napoleon, when he did enter, wouldn't have a prize and would have to leave. But yeah, they rebuilt. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting history, and pretty kind of, a lot of it is a pretty heroic history. Other parts, not so great. There, the clock bells ringing. Yeah. There's cops everywhere, huh? With like submachine guns. I mean, all over the whole city, there's cops with submachine guns. But they don't, I guess they're used to tourists and people taking videos and talking in different languages. There were just some people talking Chinese there. So they're not bothering me. So that's the Red Square. And a short history of Moscow. Yeah, it's nice here, but I want to go home. I'm planning to stay here pretty much till my son's 18. I want him to come to America with me, but I don't know if he will. He's 16 now and actually being a jerk to me. So I just want to leave now. As soon as I renew my American passport and save up some money. Let's see, we probably can't see the river. The river is right below. That's right, we're on like a little hill here. Yeah, I miss America. I've been stuck here for freaking 17 years. I can't believe it. I never in my life ever dreamed of living in Russia. I didn't even want to visit Russia. But shit happens. But as long as I was, being a good dad to my son, it was worth it. But now he's treating me like shit, so it's like, what's the point? Why am I still here? If he doesn't give a shit about me, why should I stay here? So, this was one of the last places I ever imagined I'd be. Like my father's side of the family, like we're Russian. My grandmother was born in Russia. So they were all like Russophiles and saying all this crap like, oh, when Russia is free, like after communism falls, it's your duty to return to Russia and all that. And I never believed that. And, well, several of my family did after communism fell. But most of them didn't. And that's why my dad came here with my mom. And I came to visit them one time just for Easter, just to stay for a month. I had a very happy life in America, working with my best friend in his dad's company. And yeah, everything was great. I just came for a month to visit my parents. And I met this girl. And my life changed forever. I don't regret it because I have a son now. Man, I wish it could have happened in a different way. So the reason why this is called St. Basil's is because St. Basil was what they call a fool for Christ. So he's a person that acts like really silly and retarded and like stupid and but actually he has like real deep wisdom. And they were like really revered by Russians, like in the medieval times and even after. They seem stupid and foolish, but they actually have deep wisdom and can prophesy things and all that. And the terrible, actually really revered Basil, the Fool for Christ, who used to hang around this red square here, often like naked, even in winter, and scream out his prophecies or, I don't know, cursing people for being evil and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, even Ivan the Great like revered him and really honored him. So he's buried here. I think he was buried here before they built the church. And Ivan the Terrible, not the Great, the Terrible. The Great is a different one. Told him not to disturb his bones. And so they started just naming the church after him. So I'm walking back across the square. I guess I'll probably go home. I don't know. I'm disappointed that I didn't get my passport renewed, my American passport. And if I take the express train, it takes 4 hours, 4.5 hours basically, to get home. Well, I'll just probably take the regular train, it's cheaper, so it'll take me all evening. If I can get a ticket. So, hope if anyone is watching this, they enjoyed this video and saw some nice places. I hate the communist red star up there. Like, most of them have the two illegal, like they used to. But some of them, they still leave the communist star. Like here, you can see is the two illegal. That's how it was originally designed. But then there, the fucking communist star. Okay. So I'm gonna try to get a ticket back home. And I'll come back here again to try to renew my passport so I can get the hell out of here. Hopefully I can take my son with me and go back to America. Okay. So, thanks for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll try to do more videos of like interesting places around where I live. I want to go to some different cities that I haven't been to in Russia this year and do some videos on them. Okay, so goodbye everyone.